At 11, as children play outside, we found potentially cancer-causing toxic materials below their feet.
Do the parents know that there's coal ash under here?
Tonight, a WCNC Charlotte investigation exposes 100,000 tons of coal ash buried around this Mooresville daycare.
That's horrifying.
So much coal ash combined, it would weigh as much as an aircraft carrier.
It's unacceptable.
WCNC Charlotte's Nate Morobito spent the last 2 months investigating, even collecting samples for a scientist to test, something the government has apparently refused to do.
Coal ash contains toxic ingredients, including known carcinogens, one of them radioactive. Yet we found a violation of state rules meant to limit exposure near this daycare. On the surface, the view can take your breath away. It's no wonder families are racing to live here, but a cloud hangs over this scene.
I'll get honks and yells of support.
And people like Lori Deans
But then I'll also get screamed at and cussed.
believe the truth lies buried,
The dangers have been downplayed.
some of it under these kids.
I don't want anyone else to have to go through what we have.
For Deans, it's personal. In 2021, she says her 27-year-old son Aaron died from cancer.
The light in every room.
While we'll never know if coal ash harmed Aaron, his mom says leading up to his testicular cancer diagnosis, he spent years digging in the dirt for work.
He did not deserve to live on toxic waste and not be warned.
Deans now dedicates her life to uncovering what's in the soil.
I don't want to step in it.
Depending where she steps in Mooresville, coal ash could be beneath her feet. Coal ash is a potentially toxic coal-burning byproduct found in communities across the country, and we found it in large amounts all over Mooresville. State data analyzed by WCNC Charlotte identified hundreds of thousands of tons of coal ash under at least 16 sites in this town. Sites located in areas surrounding this longtime Duke Energy coal-fired power plant. The utility legally sold the ash decades ago as cheap fill dirt for construction projects. Today, Duke Energy points out the sale of ash back then followed the state regulations of the time. Regulations focused on safe use for people and the environment. That was before scientists learned of coal ash's potential danger to humans. Now regulated by the state, these so-called coal ash structural fills are supposed to sit deep underground. But at this public median near Tutor Time of Mooresville,
And I hit coal ash on the first try.
Deans discovered what looks like coal ash barely covered. A similar looking material runs along the fence line of Tutor Time. State environmental records she found show there's up to an estimated 100,000 tons of coal ash under this Brawley School Road business park, home to the daycare.
And those parents need to be warned.
While filming on a public street in late June, Tutor Time's director approached us, expressing concerns not about the coal ash,
Already had 2 parents come up.
but instead that our cameras would identify kids.
Records show it's 100,000 tons beneath this area of coal ash.
Okay.
That doesn't concern you?
Really not going to talk about it.
Do the parents know that there's coal ash under here?
I'm not going to get roped into any of that, but thank you.
Neither Tutor Time's director nor corporate office would answer that question. But a spokesperson told WCNC Charlotte the daycare, built more than 20 years ago, has no reason to believe there's any health or safety risk to students and staff. Do you think it's safe?
Safe for kids to play over the top of coal ash? No.
Dr. Julia Kravchenka is an assistant professor with the Duke University School of Medicine.
I don't think it's safe.
The mother has researched the dangers of coal ash.
Would you let your kids play on top of coal ash?
No.
She says scientists continue to learn more about the risk to humans, identifying a laundry list of potential health impacts.
Long-term exposure is much worse.
Dr. Kravchenka says while a lot depends on a person's specific makeup and what's actually found in the ash, children are especially vulnerable.
They could be easily contaminated.
Dr. Kravchenka thinks regulators need to test soil that contains coal ash. The last publicly documented test of this coal ash found low levels of select metals like arsenic, chromium, and lead, all below allowable limits. That was nearly 30 years ago, in 1995. Since regulators have apparently not tested since, WCNC Charlotte did. With guidance from another Duke University scientist who agreed to test the soil for us, we donned safety equipment, collected samples from the public right-of-way, and sent them to him for analysis. We expect results in the near future. While we wait, WCNC Charlotte alerted the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality about the apparent exposed coal ash we spotted. The agency confirmed our suspicions. A spokesperson told us the state is working with the owners, including Tutor Time, to address the areas that appear to need attention, assuring us, when properly managed, a coal ash structural fill is closed and maintained to prevent the potential exposure pathways of ingestion or inhalation. State and federal regulators have created rules to minimize the potential for harm, including requiring structural fills be at least 1.5 feet below the surface. Duke Energy, meanwhile, has long dismissed concerns tied to coal ash.
Is coal ash toxic?
No.
That's what a spokesperson for the utility said in 2019, as WCNC Charlotte investigated in part unusually high rates of thyroid cancer in Mooresville.
There is a constituent in coal ash, arsenic, that is a carcinogen. Someone would have to have a very high exposure rate over a very long period of time.
Now in 2024, Duke Energy declined an on-camera interview and again downplayed potential health risks. Not only that, the utility told us in an email the people who bought the coal ash from them all those years ago retained full responsibility for maintenance. But some believe maintenance is not enough.
These layers of coal ash, they should be removed.
Just ask either of these mothers.
I believe my son would still be alive if he hadn't grown up around this toxic waste.
Both advocating for you to look beyond the surface. In this case, beneath unsuspecting kids. Within the last year, the Environmental Protection Agency warned of increased cancer risk tied to arsenic, radium, and gamma radiation in coal ash. Duke Energy told us the findings are not reflective of real-world conditions and made unreasonable assumptions. Not to mention, the agency's research has found coal ash should be regulated as non-hazardous material. The State Department of Environmental Quality, like Duke Energy, also declined to talk with us on camera, but we believe there will be more opportunities, especially once we find out the test results of the soil samples we collected. Rest assured, we also intend to share those results with you. Nate Morabito, WCNC Charlotte.